Hello, folks. My name is Kevin Douglas Berg. This is What Was I Saying blog KDB. I'm here to provoke thought and move humanity just a little bit. I stated that we were going to go through quotes of what Putin said and entitle this playlist How We Got Here. So, side note, I in the past I thought about teaching and being a professor and stuff like that, and I've always loved Russian history. I took Russian literature in college, and I told you guys that the professor was like, "Great a business, great a business, great a business," so we could go over to the Ukraine and go on the Siberian Express and all that. So it's kind of funny. Art imitates life a little bit here. Want to bring to attention, there's a lot of pages here, so I'm going to break this down for us though. But I want to bring to attention one of the intros to this, and this comes from Russian Matters organization analysis. Putin's invasion was immoral, not irrational. And I'll put the link down there. What becomes apparent, this is a direct quote from that, of a review of 22 years of official statements is that typical Putin has publicly signaled shifts in his views on Ukraine before translating them into actual policies. I spoke of this. He told us exactly what he wanted and what he feared and what he did not want to happen. Like him or hate him, he's been very upfront. Some of these, such as the ongoing aggression towards Ukraine, may reflect Putin's failure to accurately anticipate the costs and benefits of the implementation of what he wants. However, such failures, as Mark Kinkian and others have argued, do not mean Putin is irrational. This guy's brilliant. He is brilliant. Nobody comes from nothing and becomes head of the KGB and head of Russia because they're slacking anywhere. He's brilliant. And he thinks 40 moves ahead. Let's start with a couple quotes. December 2000. Yeah, I'm going back that far. Absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to go into a potential World War situation. I'm definitely going to give you at least 20 years of research. Russian-Ukrainian relations have improved dramatically since my meeting with Ukrainian President in Sochi in October 2000, when the leaders agreed on a restructuring plan for Ukraine's gas debts. They improved dramatically because there were agreed in principle that the interests of the Russian and Ukrainian peoples would resolve the outstanding problems built up for 10 years. These are above all economic problems, which gave grounds for saying that our Ukrainian partners have not always behaved properly with regard to some aspects of the gas issue. It makes Ukraine an absolute civilized partner, not only for us, but also the European community. Transcript of an interview with Russian media at the Kremlin. I want to show you how it started. 2001 in August, we share the pain and irreparable losses suffered by the fraternal people of Ukraine. Condolences to Ukrainian President Leonid Kuchma after a deadly mining accident in the Donetsk region. This is the Kremlin. They got a picture of the Putin and Ukrainian president and their wives at the opening of the year of Ukraine and Russia. Here we go again. 2001. Our roots are in Kievan Rus. Our brotherhood is not a legend, but a historical fact. He's very much a theologian. He constantly, all the interviews I've seen, all the documentaries, all the things that are read about him and wrote about him, he constantly goes back to history and what he feels about Russia. That is why the common future of Russia and Ukraine is the future of two European states that are very close and interconnected. Today, Russian-Ukrainian relations are becoming stable and predictable. Our strategic partnership augurs well not only for the two peoples, but also for the whole Commonwealth of Independent States, for the United Europe, and for the world. Russia has a vital stake in a stable, successful, and economically powerful Ukraine. Our country needs and values such a neighbor. Speech at the reception marking the 10th anniversary of Ukraine's independence, Kremlin. "22 years ago. 23 years ago. 2002 in May. I am absolutely convinced Ukraine will not shy away from the process of expanding interaction with NATO and the Western allies as a whole." Told you. Thinks ahead. Ukraine has its own relations with NATO. Understands that. There is a Ukraine NATO Council. At the end of the day, the decision on Ukraine joining NATO is to be made by NATO and Ukraine. It is a matter of those two partners. Press statement answers to the questions at a joint news conference with Kuchma, Kremlin. On the topic of Ukraine's accession to NATO, the Russian president said it was entitled to make that decision independently. This is key, folks. This is really key. He does not see it as something that could cloud the relations between Russia and Ukraine. Remarks paraphrased by Kremlin press service after a joint press conference following a Russian-NATO summit. He had no problem with that. I don't know what you're reading. I don't know what you're seeing. I don't know what they're quoting. He had no problem with that. (2003) May. We're going to break this down into like 3 20-minute segments, maybe 15-minute segments. Okay, May. The relations between Russia, this is 2003, and Ukraine are unique. We have a shared history. He thinks very closely of Ukraine. Most Ukrainian citizens link their destinies with Russia, and many Russian citizens link their personal fates with Ukraine, where they have close relatives, brothers, country brothers. This is a fact. Therefore, we should build our relations by non-standard means and in non-standard ways. Joint press conference with Kuchma after its second round of bilateral talks in the Kremlin. Here we go again. Our entire historical experience, I told you, goes back to history, shows that a country like Russia can live and develop within its existing borders only if it is a strong nation. All the periods during which Russia had been weakened, whether politically or economically, have always and inexorably brought to the fore the threat of the country's collapse. In times of struggle, they got weak. He knows this, like the back of his hand. Annual address to the Federal Assembly in Kremlin, 2004. We must remember the lessons of our shared history. The main lesson is that a strategic partnership between Russia and Ukraine always made us stronger and helped us rise to challenges and reach achievements for all of our people. He's not underhanding them one bit. He wants to collaborate and grow. There's no doubt that we would still have a lot to do together. The task is not easy, but is necessary and noble and meets the sincere hopes of the citizens of both our countries. Speech marking the end of the year of Russia and Ukraine and the 350th anniversary of the Pereslav Rada in the Kremlin. July. Okay? July 2004. By getting closer via the common economic space, a Eurasian trade bloc, we are increasing our competitiveness. And this is understood not only by us, but by serious people, our partners abroad. Their agents, both inside and out, inside our countries and outside, are trying everything possible to compromise the integration between Russia and Ukraine. Putin to Kuchma in the July 2004 meeting, quoted in Putin's kleptocracy, who owns Russia. We're already doing it. November of that same year, Putin appealed to the international community not to push Ukraine towards mass unrest. The president said he firmly believed that it would be unacceptable to allow settling such disputes through unrest in the streets to become a normal part of international life. Disputes of this sort should be settled through constitutional means. The Ukrainian presidential election does not depend on the recognition from outside, but is the affair of the Ukrainian people themselves, Mr. Putin noted. Russia, EU, submit press release from Kremlin press service. December. Speaking about a week and a half into Ukraine's Orange Revolution, Russia is not indifferent to what is happening in Ukraine. For every second Ukrainian family, if not more, has family and personal ties with Russia. Like I said, like brothers. Very close ties. The parties to the dispute should meet at the negotiation table and work out a compromise solution. Russia is ready to act as a mediator in settling the dispute, but neither Russia, the European community, nor international organizations can settle all of the issues. It is Ukrainian people who must have the final word. Kremlin press release. Kremlin are you? I'll read one more quote and fold this up. Russia is creating the single economic space, 2004 as well, in a large part of the former Soviet Union, while at the same time building a common economic space with the European Union. Russia believes that building this common economic space with the EU is in the interest of both Russia and the EU countries, and that this will harmonize economic ties. These projects are not in contradiction with the possibility of new members joining the EU, including Ukraine. President Vladimir Putin said he considers that if Ukraine were to join the EU, it'd be a positive factor. Unlike NATO expansion, would help strengthen the system of international relations. Kremlin. All right, so we're stopping in 2005. Let's go through what he's thinking. Let's just go through what he's thinking. He can already see foreign influence between Ukraine and Russia. He can already see foreign influence in Russia becoming an economic trade power for economic good. He's already seen influence on NATO, but has no problem with Ukraine joining NATO, as you see, as long as Ukraine makes that decision. He has no problem with Ukraine's presidential election as long as Ukrainian people are picking the president, not getting conflicted ideas and interactions and interjections with international and Western powers. This is it's only 5 years so far. How would you feel if you're Putin right now? My honest opinion, I gotta watch out because the allies, they want to get into everybody's business. They want to get into everybody's business. And it's not their business to get into, is it? Or is it? It's up to you folks. This is all on what you think. I think he's thinking ahead. He'd like NATO not to expand any more than Ukraine. But if Ukraine wants to go to NATO, that's fine. The president's, they elect whatever they elect. He wants to get Russia more economic trading capability, more say in the whole world commerce market. And he's already getting batted down from that by the European Union. You gotta look at stuff from both sides. And with that, that's 16 minutes. We'll wrap this part up. My name is Kevin Douglas Berg. So happy you joined me. I hope you are finding value in this rehashing of what's going on currently and how we got here. And with that, let's pray it out. Pray for you, pray for me, pray for world peace, pray for those people coming and going, pray for everybody on a plane, train, automobile, pray for those that have served, are serving, post-serving, and fighting with PTSD. Pray for everybody in uniform, pray for all first responders, pray for everybody that is on a plane, train, automobile, pray for everybody that is a policeman, policewoman, firefighter, firewoman, first responders, rescue personnel, anybody in the medical field, anybody in and out of hospital on a better day. Pray for you and me, world peace. Pray for those that do not have necessities like food, clothing, water, electricity, clean place to lay their head, that they will find that for tomorrow. Pray that tomorrow other people will find nourishment and they can find water and they can find peace and they can find stability. Thank you very much. My name is Kevin Douglas Berg. This is our first episode of How We Got Here. Kevin out. You're the best.